Hey everybody, it's Dave H. from drachtio.org. The Amazon Lex team recently released version 2 of the Lex API, which includes support for real-time streaming. And this is really cool because it allows us to now connect phone calls to drive bots that you create in Amazon Lex. And that's exactly what I'm going to demonstrate in this video using a new open source FreeSwitch plugin that I've released called mod AWS Lex. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to build up a server from soup to nuts so that you can create a drachtio application that will handle calls and connect them to a Lex bot. Okay, well let's get started. All right, let's take a quick look at the different pieces of software we're going to be installing. The first is the FreeSwitch module itself, mod AWS Lex. So you can see this and all the other pieces of software are available on my GitHub repo. Secondly, we're going to have a drachtio application, which is going to handle the calls, provide the application logic. Basically, it's going to connect the calls to Lex, and we'll see some of the events and information that we get back. Finally, I'm going to build up a server from scratch. We're going to spin up a vanilla Debian Buster server on DigitalOcean, build it up from scratch. I use Ansible for that. All of the Ansible roles that you see are available on my GitHub repo as well under open source. Okay, I'm going to spin up a new Debian 10 instance on DigitalOcean, and then we're going to build it up, soup to nuts, with what we need. I'm going to speed everything up here because it does take quite a while to build FreeSwitch, in particular on DigitalOcean. I'm using Ansible scripts to build out the server, and I'll show you the playbook, the Ansible playbook that I'm using there, and you can copy that and use that. All of the Ansible roles are checked in under my GitHub repo. So then we kick off the playbook, and we're going to install FreeSwitch with the mod AWS Lex plugin, drachtio server, and node.js. This is the part that typically is going to take a while, but we will speed right through it. Once we're done, I'm going to log in and we'll see what we've got running on the machine. There I'm building the AWS SDK pieces as part of the FreeSwitch build. Also, I'm building the Google stuff required for the Google modules as well. And then finally, FreeSwitch make. After that, I'll build drachtio server and also node.js I'm installing via Ansible as well. The application, the drachtio application, I'll manually install. Let's SSH on to the server that we just built out and see what we have got. We've got verify that we have a FreeSwitch running under systemd, and we've got drachtio server running, and we've got node.js installed as well. So we're good. Now let's check out the app that we want and install that. Now this app uses Redis. It has a requirement for Redis because it's going to cache some TTS. So I'm going to manually install Redis as well. And now we are good to go. Everything's installed on the server. I won't go into too much detail on the Lex Console itself, only to point out a couple things. First of all, make sure you're in the Lex v2 console because we're using the v2 API. And then you want to create a bot, of course. I'm using one of their standard template bots that you can create, this book trip bot. There are two pieces of information we're going to need once we've created the bot and built it. The first is the bot ID, which you can see here. Then you create aliases or versions and assign them to alias, and you're going to need the alias ID as well. I'll go with the test bot, which is shown here. One quick pointer, when you create the bot, make sure there's a build step that's separate. If you don't build it, you can create and save a bot without building it, but then you won't be able to execute it. So make sure you build it as well. Okay, with those two pieces of information and armed with our AWS access key and secret access key, we are ready to go. So let's switch back to the console and run this thing. All right, let's test out the bot. I'm going to start it up. Now you'll notice that some environment variables are required. I'm providing my AWS access key and secret access key and the region. And then the bot ID and alias ID that I mentioned before. I'm going to use my soft phone to test it. I've pointed my soft phone to the server that we just built. So let's go through the basic bot. I'd like to rent a car.
In what city do you need to rent a car?
Boston, Massachusetts.
What day do you want to start your rental?
Tomorrow.
What day do you want to return the car?
3 days later.
How old is the driver for this rental?
45.
What type of car would you like to rent? Our most popular options are economy, midsize, and luxury.
Economy.
Okay, I have you down for an economy rental in Boston, Massachusetts from January 24th, 2021 to January 26th, 2021. Should I book the reservation?
Yes. Okay, so a couple things to note there. One is I'm using the audio return from Lex, which is right now configured for Ivy, the child's voice. The next time we test it, I'm going to change it to use text-to-speech, and I'll specify a different voice, just to show that you can either use the returned audio from Lex, or you can specify a text-to-speech voice. And when you specify a text-to-speech voice, you can either use AWS, Poly, you can use Google text-to-speech as well, if you have Google credentials. Secondly, a lot of console output has been scrolling. Basically, what we're seeing is all of the information coming back, and there's quite a bit of it. When for every transcription, we get an event, and also for every intent. And there's quite a lot of information that comes back with the intents, and all that's available to the application as an event that you can parse through and take action on. For instance, you may want to do call transfer to agent or something like that. We're automatically hanging up the call when we get an intent back that where the dialogue has been closed. Okay. So that was kind of the basic one. Let's look at a couple of options now. Okay, this time we're going to show using TTS. We're going to use text-to-speech to play the prompts based on the text response rather than the returned audio. And we'll choose an adult voice, Matthew, one of the Poly voices. And we'll show also that we can barge in quite nicely to the AWS prompts as well. All right, let's make the call again. I'd like to rent a car.
In what city do you need to rent a car?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
What day do you want to start your rental?
Tomorrow.
What day do you want to return the car?
Next Wednesday.
How old is the driver for this rental?
25.
What type of car would
Economy.
you like to rent? Okay, I have you down for economy rental in Chattanooga, Tennessee from January 24th, 2021 to January 27th, 2021. Should I book the reservation?
Yes. Now this test bot that I have actually has two intents in there. We can book a car or book a hotel. And what I'm going to show now is how to feed in an initial intent. So we're going to, again, use all the same parameters as before, but this time I'm specifying a welcome intent of book hotel. That means that the bot will originally be triggered with this intent of book hotel. Okay?
What city will you be staying in?
Boston.
What day do you want to check in?
Tomorrow.
How many nights will you be staying?
2.
What type of room would you like? Queen, king, or deluxe?
King.
Okay, I have you down for a 2-night stay in Boston starting January 24th, 2021. Shall I book the reservation?
Yes. Okay, so you can see that you can feed in an initial intent. Often in your bot, you may have a welcome intent that you want callers to hit first, and that's how you would do that. Okay, one final example. You can also feed in a welcome message, text that is, that will cause the Lex bot to return that as an audio prompt. And this is useful, for instance, as in this case, when we've got a bot with 2 intents, but we kind of need to prompt the user to say something initially. The user might not know that he or she is supposed to say I'd like to book a car, I'd like to book a hotel. So let's go ahead and feed in a welcome message. And you can see we're just using an environment variable for that. And that message will then be played back to us at the beginning.
Hi there. I can help you book a hotel or a car. Just let me know which you want.
Book a hotel.
What city will you be staying in?
Boston, Massachusetts.
What day do you want to check in?
Okay, I think you get the basic idea. All right, well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, ping me at daveh@drachtio.org or join my Slack channel by going to joinslack.jambones.org. Thanks, and have a great day.